Hello, people. This is Squash Corner. We're going to talk about Marvel Tōkon Fighting Souls. The beta came out, put a good number of hours into the game. And quick question is, do I think, is it good for beginning players? Quick answer, yes, I think it is. A long answer, we'll get to it. So what's crazy is 2XKO came out this year, which is also like a tag fighting game. They the game forces you to learn two characters, which takes a good amount of time. So in this game, it's four characters, and it's like that seems a bit overwhelming and excessive. So how they countered that is you don't have to learn all those characters. Knowing how to use assists are important, but you could literally use one character the whole way because everyone shares the same health bar. I want to say that this will make anybody easily grab the game, pick one character, and then they'll be fine. But I feel like for the long term, something that's kind of situational, but this is something I think for advanced players is having the opposite of character that you have. So an example is like Danger is projectile based. Like if she's projectile based fighter. Let's just say Hulk is like the opposite of that. So if you're playing a matchup where Danger's not very good at getting in, then maybe Hulk could do it. Let's just say Hulk is getting spammed with projectiles. Your opponent's just throwing projectiles. You can't go. And then you can switch. I like the idea that you can learn just like two characters, cover the bases, your weaknesses, your strengths. But honestly, you could probably get pretty far using one good character and seeing how far that gets you. Especially if your character's lacking something, you have 4 assists to go with. Something else that's very interesting too is a lot of older fighting games with assists. It's always made super unequal unintentionally. An example I could give is in Dragon Ball Fighters. In the first couple of seasons of the game, there was only 1 assist per character. So an example would be like people would be like, okay, I'm always going to use Goku, Super Saiyan Goku, and I'm going to use Goku Black. Why? Because they always had a beam attack. So you throw the beam attack, covers the whole freaking stage, and then you're able to move forward. Not all characters had that. So around like the ending life cycle of the game, there's a huge update where they gave every character 3 assists to use from that kind of cover every bases that you need. So they try to make it as fair as possible so people don't feel rushed to be like, I have to use this character because of the assist specifically. A lot of older fighting games, it was very not made equal, where they gave them an assist, one could be ridiculously strong, and you could even use a shitty character just for the assist to help the other characters. So with this game, there's what's it called? Everyone has a similar assist. There's usually like an anti-air one and a projectile one. Everyone kind of shares it. So that's pretty solid where you don't feel too pressured to be like, well, I guess I have to use this character for this assist and stuff like that. So it seems pretty cool. So like, I want to say that this game, I would say fixing a lot of problems is a stretch, but I will say that they do things in consideration to the player. Uh, like the even how you play the game, a lot of the combos, like the basic combos, you could do with like every character. It's all relatively similar. At first, it was a little concerning, but if you look at higher people that are better at fighting games, if you see it, they go different routes. Like for example, I was doing the same combo you would do with Spider-Man with like Doctor Doom. It's like all the same bread and butter stuff, where it's just like light, medium, heavy launcher, light, medium, heavy. Do like a super or throw your assist out, then do a super or something. That's kind of the basis of it. But if you look at higher end videos, you could see that every character has their own situational combo that makes them unique to the character. But I would say, like, if you're just grabbing the game, picking up a game, literally use Spider-Man for like 5 rounds, use Blade for like 5 matches, and you would just have like 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 2, where it's like everything kind of makes sense. I think that's really good for newer players, just so they don't feel too overwhelmed when playing each character completely different. They could just copy the same combo, and as they get better, they will do something more unique related to the character and do specific combo routes specifically for that character. But as somebody who could just pick up the game, do whatever, click buttons, everything works very smoothly. This is super controversial that they added to the game that I don't know. I was never super big into. They did this for Guilty Gear Strive. Arc System Works. I'm not sure. Like, I'm pretty sure they're doing this for newcomers, in my opinion. Is the stage transitions. So, in what's it called in Strive, in Guilty Gear Strive, you could hit the character in the corner enough times where they break the wall practically, and then you go to a new stage and you start neutral, meaning it's like the start of a game. It all starts all over. Nobody has the stage advantage. Nobody's in the corner. You're in the exact same spot like from the start of the game. So you could argue for newer players that might be good because corner pressure, being in the corner is the worst place to be in any fighting game. That's the worst place to be. Why? Is because you can't escape. You have You have limited movement options to make. So if you whiff a move, they're up in your face so they could whiff punish you. If you try to jump up and they give them enough space to react to you jumping, they're gonna completely just push you in the corner. In Street Fighter 6, there's a thing called throw loops where it's just you put somebody in a corner and you gotta guess, are you gonna get grabbed again and be stuck in the corner, or you're gonna get shimmied where basically you're predicting them to do like a super or some type of invincible move and you just back away because they have limited space to escape, and then bam, punish right there. I feel like that's such a core aspect of any fighting game is the corner pressure. But they did something very similar from Guilty Gear Strive where it's like you could break the corner, boom, no corner pressure for you. No throw loops, no. You're going to be even with your player. So I was never really a big fan of it. So in this game, a lot of moves that look like a dash, like it almost looks like a charge. So like a lot of moves I was testing out everybody in the roster. If you do down back special, a lot of those moves have like an impact frame where if you're in the corner, it kicks them off it practically breaks the stage for you to go back to neutral. And I feel like you technically don't want that unless that kills your opponent. Why? Is because you want that corner pressure. So if you go for throws as well, if you throw somebody in the corner, they're going to break the wall, starts to neutral again. So I feel like there might be a way for higher end players, what ends up kind of happening is they don't want that wall break unless it defeats the character, unless it defeats your opponent. What they're going to want to do is avoid probably grabs in the corner, avoid that down back special that gives that impact frames to break the wall practically. They're going to do anything in their power to keep you in that corner. I don't know how that's going to look in the first month of the game coming out, where people are experimenting and seeing how far they could keep you in the corner. I'm not sure, but this game is trying to do its best to not feel like you're completely invulnerable, like you're completely vulnerable. When you're in the corner, most fighting games, you're vulnerable. Like you're in a very bad pickle. It's like a sumo wrestling match where you want to kick the other person out of the ring. You want them in the corner. You don't want them to have space. That's a lot. That's like every fighting game ever. But I feel like Arc System Works really pushing that. They really don't want you in the corner. So we'll see where that goes. I want to say a very quick nitpicky thing. This might be just a me thing. Is so in 2XKO, there's so much recovery frames. So for example, pretend like you did a medium kick or something, a medium punch, whatever, on somebody that's going to jump on you. There's so much recovery frames that you could use that to your advantage where, boom, you tap them from jumping at you, and then you could combo off of that. So like they give you, in 2XKO, they give you so much, there's so much recovery to getting a stray hit that it's super easy to confirm off that combo. In this game, I noticed that if you get a straight hit, they recover relatively quick. I'm not sure, like you could technically follow the recovery frames, but it feels a little hard where it doesn't feel like, I feel like a lot of the Marvel vs. Capcom games, if you get a straight hit, like, oh shit, you screwed up. Like you got hit, you're gonna probably take 50% damage. In this game, I feel like they made the characters recover faster for more defensive, like for a character not to feel that vulnerable. That's what the game feels like. I feel like they did whatever they can in their power to not make a character vulnerable and for them to potentially get that comeback. They even have a breaker system where if you're blocking and you're getting pressured like crazy, and that's the thing, there's 4 assists. So around endgame where everyone has their forces and they're just throwing shit at you, you could break that and what's it called and recover. Like you could break their pressure, and then you have your turn back practically. Like it becomes an even playing field. Both of you guys have to readjust and attack. So it makes me really wonder how defensive this game is going to be. And for higher up players, for higher level players, what are they gonna do to break down those defenses? Because in this game, it feels like you recover pretty quickly, you have a break system, and what's it called? It feels like a very even playing field. And not just that, but yeah, if you feel vulnerable in the corner, you could get out of that corner if they kick you out of if you break the stage and it goes back to neutral. So it makes me wonder how that's gonna be later down the line. I want to say the last thing I want to say is I think it's good. I feel like assists are very kind of complicated because you could use an assist to move forward, like meaning pretend your assist throws a fireball. That means you can move forward. If your assist has like an uppercut, then if you know your character, if your opponent's gonna jump at you, you could use it. You and your opponent get comfortable with the game enough, you're going to be seeing assists all the time. And I feel like this is going to be a good almost like starter for new players interested in other fighting games that have very heavy assists in the game practically. So it makes me wonder. In my opinion, I think this game is really good for new players because it's like here's these complicated stuff, but like toned down back. It's toned down a little bit. And also we're giving you defensive options so you don't feel too vulnerable all the time. And it feels like if you get touched once, you don't just explode, you know? But time will tell because again, yeah, once this game becomes full for anybody to touch, anybody to grab, we'll see how high the ceiling gap gets, but at the moment, it feels like any newbie could just touch the game and do some stuff. That's all I really have to say, and I bid thee adieu. Boop.